everyone, how are you doing today? Thank you so much for hanging out, and we are talking about the battle of inspiration. Now, I think this is something that all guitar players definitely struggle with at some point, and you go through phases basically where you'll be incredibly inspired, and you'll be in areas where you're just like, I consider them like seeking stages. You're looking for that inspiration. And that's what I want to talk about. And the first thing, of course, is that it's okay to be uninspired. I think that sometimes we feed too much into the concept of like, oh, I'm not inspired anymore. We get very just like depressed, about our guitar playing, and we're not motivated. And don't worry, that happens to everyone. That totally happens to everyone. We all have those phases and stages where we're just like, man, I'm just very uninspired. I know for myself, I genuinely do not like to write music at all whenever I just feel uninspired, and I do my best to not. And sometimes you just have to. If it's your job, you need to do it. But 90% of the time, if I'm just not inspired, I won't. I haven't. I just wrote 2 new songs, but before that, I hadn't written anything new for a couple months because I was just uninspired, and there was nothing wrong with that. I just was, mentally, I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna take a break from this for a little bit, and just kind of take a step back, and I'm going to work on technique and stuff like that. And I did, and I've spent a lot more time the past few months working on my technique and trying to build up some new chops, and you've seen a lot more lesson videos out of me. And it's because of that, because musically I was uninspired, but doing this other stuff really inspired me. I was like, oh yeah, I mean, you know what? I feel like my picking's getting better. This is getting better. So, the lack of inspiration in one department fed and kind of fueled the creativity for another. So don't get discouraged at all if you feel uninspired. It happens to all of us. The next thing, of course, is conquering that lack of inspiration, and there's a number of ways that you can, really just take it out, just knock it out. The one that everyone seems to lead with as advice is learning a new style of music, and this is a huge one. This is like extremely, inspiring, at least, from my own experience. I love trying to dive into something that I'm just not that familiar with. Whether it be, I kind of grew up with country, but it could be learning like a new like Brent Mason thing. Whatever. I was working on some Brent Mason things, and I was like, oh, this is really cool because I don't do a lot of hybrid picking, and it was really inspiring. And or maybe I'm learning some Led Zeppelin riffs or something, because sometimes it doesn't even need to be like a crazy new genre. It could be like go back and learn some of those songs you've always wanted to learn. Learn the solo, learn the Nuno Bettencourt solo that you've been putting off learning for years, like myself. I'm working on like Cupid's Dead. Like I always knew the beginning to it and the main riffs, but I never learned the rest of it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna learn it. So I've been like working on that a lot lately, and it's been really inspiring. And it's just that kind of stuff is gonna really get you out of that rut, that uninspired rut. Because like I said in the beginning of the video, it's kind of like it's the expression, when it rains it pours. It's like you'll go through phases. I've gone through phases where I'll write a new song a day. I'm just so inspired, and ideas are just flowing out of me, and I'm like, this is great. And it's like someone just like has the water on full blast, and they're like, and you're done. And then I'm just like, wow, I've just got nothing. So I think that, seeking out, if you want to stay inspired, I feel like you need to have the mindset and the understanding that, inspiration doesn't always come to you. You need to go find it sometimes. So you need to go just kind of like buckle down and be like, all right, I'm going to go find something new. I'm going to learn something that I'm not good at, and I'm going to try to incorporate it into what I like to play. So it's an important step. I did want to take a minute to thank our sponsor of the show, Bandzoogle. They've sponsored a few different episodes on here, and I really appreciate it. I've been using them for years, way before they started sponsoring stuff. It's how my website is hosted, and if you don't have a website and you're a working musician, it's extremely important nowadays, I feel, to be able to send an actual link to your website to companies. Make it extremely easy to set up your website. Trust me, if I can do it, literally anybody can make a website on here. And it's all mobile friendly. It's also a very crucial thing. Make sure that if you have a website, you can adapt to different mobile platforms. There are thousands of different themes for your website. You can sell your music, your lesson packs, whatever you want to sell, merch through there with their pro plan. You keep all the money from it. It's a very, very cool thing. Like I said, I've really liked the guys at Bandzoogle for a while now. The plans start at as little as $8.29 a month. That's extremely affordable. If you want to try it free for 30 days, you can do that. And if you do want to sign up, you can use the promo code RBGuitar and you can save yourself 15%. Woo! Now, the final thing that I wanted to add to this about just, being stuck without inspiration and stuff like that is don't be afraid to try to help other people be inspired. Just because you're uninspired doesn't, mean to tune out the rest of the world or something like that, because sometimes by helping others be inspired, maybe someone has a question about something, I always try to, anytime anybody asks me anything, if it's in my power to, I always try to answer it, Don't be the person who wants to keep all these secrets to themselves and stuff like that. Just help out everyone that you can. Maybe you might be going through, like I said, an extremely uninspired period of your playing or something like that. But you just kind of help someone else out who's maybe going through the same thing, and boom, it clicks. And all of a sudden they're inspired, and you're like, oh, that's, you get a good feeling for helping someone, and that could be what triggers you to be like, you know what, I'm gonna go home and write some music, or I want to go practice or something like that. So, sometimes the key to stopping your kind of lack of inspiration is helping stop someone else's, and it just comes full circle. Always be putting out that good energy. I'm a huge believer in that kind of stuff, and just help the musician community. We're all here to learn and play, and we just love music. So anytime you can help out, I always recommend that you try to do that. And that will be it, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. Hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, make sure you go check out Bandzoogle. I really appreciate them sponsoring some of these videos. And until next time, guys, I will be seeing you all on the flippity flop later. Bye, homies. Woo!